Nah. Sorry about that. Hey everybody, welcome to the ASC Livestream, the Feliz Navidad edition of it.
Is that what
for our southern speaking listeners down there.
He speaks Spanish over in Europe too, by the way.
What microphone are you using, Brendan? Because it sounds terrible.
Oh, does it? Well, let me see how to fix that for you.
Yeah, I just hear it sounds like your microphone's on the other side of the room. Babe, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Hopefully my microphone sounds good.
You're perfect, babe. You're always No, you still sound terrible, Brendan.
What?
Oh, now you're good. Hold on.
Okay.
Say something again?
Yeah.
Now you're good.
Okay.
Better.
Hey everybody, welcome to ASC Livestream. My name's Adam and this is Brendan and Babe.
Howdy.
I apologize. It has been an evening so far, to say the least.
I'm the one that looks like a thumb tonight.
Brendan shaved his facial hair and it's just upsetting everybody and it's throwing everybody off.
Throwing me off. I hate it.
I apologize if you guys see me eat a couple potato oles like I just now got supper a second ago. And they messed up half my order, just so you guys know.
Well, why don't you just go to eat your supper and we'll just take care of this?
Well, no, I'm good. I want to be with you guys. This is our Christmas. What'd you guys bring me for presents?
This face.
Yeah.
Babe
This
is
face.
the present.
For the audio listeners on the podcast later, if you're listening to it, basically, just
Brendan
go check
looks
out.
terrible.
Yeah, go check out a couple seconds on the YouTube or whatever.
Otherwise, how's your guys' December gone? And are you ready for the holidays? And
I'm ready for this year to be over. I'm exhausted.
I ran to Walmart twice today, and it reminds me how much I hate the holidays.
Yeah, I've had something going on every day and night for the last 2 weeks, and actually I blew off something tonight just so I could be here with all y'all.
You started saying that really angrily, and then like you calmed it down. You're like, I blew off a bunch of stuff to be here with you guys today.
See, you guys chill me out.
Yeah.
But no.
Did you have that poster up the last time we did a live stream, Brendan? Or am I just now noticing? Yeah.
It's been up there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you only did one without that there, didn't you?
Pretty much. I think the first one we did when I moved it.
Yeah.
Because I knew you rearranged your setup a little bit, but I guess I never paid attention to what you had hanging in the background. Well, cool. What's the certificate next to the poster? Is that your Aquanaut one?
Dude, yeah, it's been there just as long too.
Well, I can't read it from here. That's why I'm just I don't think he's putting his high school diploma there, so I gotta assume it was your...
Yes, something I actually care about.
Adam got new glasses for Christmas.
What? No.
Well, like everybody's losing their mind around here. Let's just get on with something that we can talk about instead of...
Yeah, let's get into ASC stuff.
Yeah. So, no, really, I want to talk a little bit about what, we had our monthly meeting, was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago. And some of the stuff we talked about there, and you guys are more than welcome to hop in here and chime in about everything we talk about here. And some of it I'll go in more detail for our Patreon. I'm going to make a Patreon video. I was waiting for the facial hair to grow a little bit more before I said something permanent like this, but whatever. Here we are. So you get to try to take me.
We're probably going to lose Patreon members because.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Try to take me serious looking like this. But no, make another video for our Patreon members as well as one for Discord because both of them involve them in different ways. But some of the stuff we're looking at moving forward with ASC and without getting too detailed because some of it relates to getting detailed online. Some of the things we're going to be changing and what some of the struggles that ASC has faced is obviously the bigger one. Obviously, is funding, and that's just par for the course with it seems like pretty much everybody. Talking to Fabian Cousteau this year is it's funding. Everybody else out there has failed not because of designs or because of ambition, but just because it's hard to find funding for something like this because there is a risk involved with it. and it's not cheap starting up. My friend Martin over in Europe, he's gone as far as meeting with space agencies and getting federal grants and stuff along those lines, and still that's not enough incentive for people to jump on board with him when he's got governments and stuff like that. He's in talk with them, and they're like, yeah, this sounds great, and stuff along those lines. So obviously that's Europe. That's a little bit different than here in the United States, but still it's the mindset. And then, we've got our friends down in Costa Rica working on their habitat as well. And they're backed by colleges and science and stuff along those lines too, and they're making some progress. But again, it's slow, and so it's where does this money come from, and how do you do it? And then you look at organizations like Deep and what they're doing over there, and then they've got money from somewhere. Same thing with Ocean Builders and what they're doing, and Ocean Builders, we know that came from an initial capital from Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and stuff along those lines. But right now, even though their focus has not been underwater, they're working on holding two world records for underwater living, and that's not even their focus. So, how does ASC get backing, get finances and stuff like that? So that's definitely something we're really reapproaching and looking at in 2025. And one of those different ways is obviously not one that's going to make us tons of money, but that may help us out is different verticals of different ways of, whether it's a merchandise line is one of the things we were talking about is, actually branching off the merchandise we currently have and having something that's attractive that everybody wants to buy and everybody wants to wear, and not just stuff with ASC plastered on it, which is, great for our diehard fans and stuff like that. But, you're not going to buy that for, grandma to wear or something along those lines. I'll store it grandma, but your friend to wear because they're not going to want to wear that. But can we get hats? Can we get shirts and stuff like that? That the people that are interested in the water and the ocean per se are interested in, and if we can do that, maybe that will definitely help add to the bank account at the very least, which will then allow us to spend more money on marketing or more money in different areas and stuff along those lines. So that's one of the things we want to talk about, but I don't want to hog up all the camera space and all the audio tonight. So if you guys have anything you want to add into that section there, just while I had, please feel free. Or don't. It's okay. I'll keep on talking.
That's crickets.
I'm trying to break it up here. I don't want this to be me only speaking here, but and for anybody watching too, if you've got questions or stuff like that, please chime in there, because this affects everybody. This affects people who have been on board with this, for a while now. We work on this. One other thing is involving the Discord community more in some of this stuff as well. We've got a great community out there that we've kind of haven't really been that involved with here recently. We haven't been involved with too much at all here recently because I've been really rethinking on ASC and it's been affecting me on how ASC has not grown like I thought it would. When I first started this journey years ago, but here recently when I reinitiated the whole thing and actually formed it as an LLC, I talked with Dennis Chamberlain, and he was like, yeah, it's hard to find the funding and stuff. And I was like, I mean, really, it shouldn't be that hard because all you need is, if you need $100,000, all you need is $1,000 people giving you $100, or 100 people giving you $1,000, and that's not tons of money anymore. So it shouldn't be that hard, but it is that hard. But since I had that conversation and since I've tried that, we've been growing that community, and that's something else we're going to work harder on this next year is growing the community. And obviously the merchandise is one, but also the social media aspect of it is the other thing. We've got this podcast that is slowly growing. I watch it almost on a daily basis to see who's listening and what's listening, and we're getting more and more numbers on the podcast. And if we start putting that same emphasis in the podcast into just some of our social media and stuff along those lines, I think we can do some stuff there. We've started doing a 24/7 live stream on YouTube, and that's helped get some more followers and people attracted to us as well. I'm going to switch that up on a regular basis to different 24/7 live streams. The social media itself, having some more content out there on a more regular basis. I've been hopping on Grok, which is the X version of ChatGPT, and using it to help build some social media stuff for 2025. So really, the focus is more on building a tight-knit community next year to really approach them with, hey, here's what we're trying to do. Here's the amount of money we need. And then have a figure set so people know what bar to reach instead of this arbitrary, hey, just send us some money because we need money type of thing. Let's actually have a goal on what kind of money we need, and see if definitely the merchandise can help offset that, so people are wearing some sweet swag out there, as well as helping the cause as well. And whatever else can ask. I was talking to Babe, completely off subject here, but I was talking to Babe before we went live here. I'd like to get back down to Jules again this year too. Right? Well, I mean next year, 2025. And maybe do more than one day down there this time. Maybe do a 2-day or something along those lines. I don't know. I'll have to see how that plays out from a financial basis and stuff like that. But that would be cool to do something. Before it was, Brendan and Babe having a good time down there, and ASC was, we did something for ASC, but I'd like to be a little bit more ASC centered this time as well down at this time. So we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of the stuff we're talking about. Like I say, there's portions of that are very much Discord related, very much Patreon related, and I'm going to make separate videos for those different communities. So if you're in one of those communities, you'll get those. If you're not in one of those communities, please join. I mean, either one of those is a great one. Discord obviously is free. Patreon is cheap as $5 a month. You can get in there and get a little bit more fine-tuned information coming from me.
Ditto.
Yeah, okay.
I know I've said it before. You can just watch how, I don't know what you can call it, just so many more people are interested in underwater stuff now. Social media has a lot to do with it, of how much people are watching and how much people, and it isn't all keyboard warriors either. They've got to shoot the video and be in that environment to shoot the video, so they're doing it, and more people are doing it because of it.
Right.
You're not going to attract all those people, but there's so many of them that the numbers are increasing. So.
Yeah, and I say, it is that social media makes the world smaller, but at the same time, like I've said before, the technology has gone so far now it brings that cost down a whole lot more, where it's a whole lot more feasible to do some of the stuff that wasn't that feasible before. Like that tiny house you sent me, Babe sent us today. It's this really cool 133 square foot tiny house type of thing, but it's basically what ASC's working on. And I said, man, if I could buy one of these things and watertight it, just modify it slightly, and you've already got a test bed right there. It's got all the amenities to it. And so, yeah, it's stuff like that the prices of so much, even though everything's gone up in price too, because of economies of scale, a lot of stuff has come down, especially when it comes to some of that stuff that, 20 years ago even was completely out of grasp. So yeah, I say many times, I'm glad that I didn't get investors, 10, 20 years ago, because of what I know now versus what I knew then. And also the technology where it is now versus where it was then. That's completely different type of thing. And to your point too, when we got people like Ocean Builders, Deep, Fabian, etc. out there, and they're getting notoriety and they're getting news and stuff along those lines. And it's great because it helps us out, because again, we have been championing this now for so many years, and we have so much content out there that when you search underwater habitats on any social media platform, especially YouTube, we usually come up in the listings. So they're going to find us because we put so much content out there. And that's why I want to be a bigger push on content for 2025, even though I backed off this year on it, to try and to up that for the next year too. So content ideas are more than welcome, because I sometimes get very tunnel vision on what I feel like needs to be out there. So if we've got ideas for what people think they'd like to see out there, I am all about it. So please chime in.
Our advantage to ASC is we will be more public centered than the other ones you just listed. Also,
right.
The other ones they're more science and private entities,
right.
that your everyday public can't get a hold of. Can't do.
Yeah, it's similar to the Jules versus Aquarius, but eventually even more so than that, because with Jules you still have to be able to scuba dive to get to it, and that's the end goal, is to eliminate that hurdle. But yeah, whereas you have to saturation to stay down there, and that's again another hurdle that we're trying to erase. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I think that we have a leg up on. But one of the concerns that I have, and once again, I've talked to you guys about this, and I share it now too, is because we've been so vocal and we've said so much for so long, it's too easy for other people to come along and take those ideas that have backing or have funding and run with them. And where does that leave ASC? So that's one of the other changes that ASC is going to be making next year, is probably not being as vocal about some of the stuff we're working on and some of the ideas we have. Almost going dark to an extent. Adam's going to love this, but I'm going to update the website because why not? But no, to reflect that, take down some of the information on there, some of the stuff that I'm going to look at the algorithms and see what people are actually looking at on there, and probably remove a bunch of stuff to make it simplified. I noticed that Proteus just updated their website today. It looks really cool. Man in the Sea, they updated their website. It looks really cool. Jules has got a fairly new website. So yeah, I think it's. I'm going to change that up a little bit there too. So, and maybe I'm just being paranoid. But at this point in time, I'd rather err on caution and pull back a little bit while still putting content out there about ASC without giving away too much. Although I've never said everything that's up in my head or the designs and the dreams I have for ASC. Because of that, I always like to hold a little bit back. But we have said quite a bit over the years, and there's I've seen some things out there that concern me. So because of that, we're gonna pull back a little bit to protect our IP per se. But yeah, I think that's pretty much most of the stuff I wanted to address tonight. That's not really a jolly mood to be in. It sounds very doom and gloom and like negative, but it's not. I really I think that this year has been very negative for me as far as my sentiments about where ASC is, and I honestly feel very hopeful for 2025 just in general. But I think this is a good direction for ASC for 2025. With a little bit more focus, not being so broad, but more fine-tuned on stuff. So if you guys, you don't know, as I've been holding these guys to me for the last several months on, hey, we need to work on this month and this month to bust out certain things, because I have lacked the ability to focus on certain things. I had too many things going on at once, and because of that, we have a merch store up and running now because they told me this has to get done. The 24/7 live streams was something that said this has to get done. Different things like that is because of these guys holding me, and that's why I appreciate having them around.
Let's finish that sentence. It's holding you accountable now, but we haven't physically been holding you.
Well, you would if you could.
Well, all I'm saying is he would have had a beard if he would have got that stuff done sooner, but we got a hold of him. So
that's right.
That's what we did to him.
That is true.
Yeah. So, yes, if anybody has any questions about any of that, please reach out. I don't know. It's 2024 has been a weird year, I think, for a lot of people. And I don't know if the stars aren't in alignment, your chakras are off, or whatever the heck is going on. But yeah, so I am definitely feeling better about 2025 just because I don't know. I just so
you've always been kind of a prime number kind of guy.
Like an optimist?
Yeah.
Oh,
have I been a prime guy?
I don't think so.
Oh, like I said, I'm not aware of that.
I don't mean to sound political because that's not what it is at all. It's just, like it or not, the country's taken,
Sure.
America is taking a different turn this for 2025. So
Yeah.
what make positive of it.
Yeah.
So that's where
nothing else you can do about it at this point in time. I mean, it's your attitude. I was having a conversation at work just yesterday with somebody about Christmas, and they're like, "Well, it's got to be." I go, "It's your attitude. I mean, your attitude controls everything. You make the best of it, even in the worst of times. So depending on what side of the political aisle you stand on, it's like you can't change anything at this point in time. So you just got to accept it and move on.
Adapt.
Yeah. Yep. So the stock market's been loving it. That's all I heard for here recently until yesterday. But so
I've been losing a lot of money.
Well, I'm not. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Adam.
No, we're gonna address it right now. This is no longer the ASC podcast. We're talking stocks.
These stocks are going to fund ASC.
Yeah. To the moon, I think is a term.
Okay.
I think it's something to do with the GameStop thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, you guys got anything else to add?
Oh, there has been some really neat space stuff going on. Except to the moon. That's
not for the people on the space station.
Yeah, they're getting postponed again.
They're not having a good time.
Yeah, now it's going to be March or April before they're able to come home.
Oh, wow. See, that's the first I heard that. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
saying they want more time to go over the SpaceX Dragon before they launch it this time.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, so they pushed it back.
3-hour tour.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Dragon. It's going to be the Minnow.
Yeah. But no, you're right. I mean, we're not a space. We don't really usually talk about space that much on here. But with Starship from SpaceX and then New Glenn from Bezos, those two things. I mean, Starship, Bezos was supposed to launch last month and it's still getting pushed back. But I think that's going to be an amazing rocket to watch launch. And Starship just is amazing every time it launches and then catches the rocket in the Mechazilla. And then they're probably saying that in the next 2 flights they'll try to catch the ship too. So, oh man, it's so cool.
Now I'm going to feel stupid for it. It popped in my brain, but what it was, I can't remember what it was. But it was talking. It's either Deep or Cousteau, Fabian. I can't remember which one it was, but I saw a quick little. I don't know if it's an actual interview or just a recording about living underwater, and again how they're taking it to use for space research. It was a real quick little thing, but I was like, it's there and gone. But I hadn't seen it before. It looked like it was a pretty new recording.
Well, that's the thing is the whole analog for space, and that's what Martin over in Europe. That's what he's been focusing on is being a space analog. That's where he's been trying to get work with ESA and stuff like that, the European Space Agency, for that. And then to your point, talking about interviews, Grant from Ocean Builders just did a recent interview with Free Cities podcast. It's like about an hour long, very good podcast. Especially, even though they're primarily floating, we're all related in this whole ocean exploration, colonization, building sustainable floating or underwater habitats. And since they do have an underwater room to it, he does dive into that a little bit and talks more about that as well and some of the stuff they're doing. That being said, the bathroom and the shower situation down there is no shower. So he's down there for 100+ days without a shower. He's got to take sponge baths. And I was like, yeah, I'm out right at that point in time. I'm assuming the toilet is not proper plumbing in down there either. I don't know this. I'm just, just guessing here based on that stuff there. So whatever. Not my rodeo. But hey, he's loving it down there. He said their engineer that's just staying down there for 110, 120 days, something like that. So it's cool. I'm rooting for him. I would gladly do it. Put me down there for a year. I don't care. Sounds like I got internet.
You just said you didn't want to not have a shower.
Well, I'm saying I got thinking, like Jules or something along those lines, where you could go outside and swim around. Because he's stuck in this room there. He can't go anywhere. He's like, he can't go upstairs and get fresh air. He can't go outside because there's no way to get him outside. So he's just stuck in this room looking out windows all day long, which is fine.
It'd be rank.
I mean, he's got access to. It's got open air to the surface, so I'm sure he's got good airflow in there, so that's not an issue. But yeah, I think that the one thing that sets places like Jules apart from this is the fact that for a little bit of variety, you can put on some scuba tanks, or if you had the hookah system in there, you could just go outside and swim around for a little while to get some fresh air per se.
That to me is one of the absolute best things. It's like when I tell people you stay, and you just can't go to the surface. It's like, to me, that's the best thing. It's like just to be able to come and go in the water as you want.
Yeah. And that's not, like I say, and we know that's not for everything. We've heard from years, they're like, oh, I would never do that. That's, I'm terrified of the water or something along those lines. And I get it. It's not for everything. Just like, going to space isn't for everybody. I have zero desire to go to space. As cool and as much as I love watching and learning about all this stuff, I have zero desire to go to space. It terrifies me. But, I have no problem, even though I'm not the most proficient scuba diver by any means, throwing on some tanks and going underwater. I feel completely at peace and ease down there, and it's all good. So, to each their own. But ASC, wants to make that transition as easy as possible. So even if you normally you wouldn't want to go underwater, this would be a way of doing it and feeling safe as well. It'd be like just going down looking at a giant aquarium, except for you are the giant aquarium. But
Sure.
that's kind of what we're shooting for here. Anything else, guys? Seem a little quiet tonight. Is everybody okay?
I'm just mentally fried today.
Yeah. It's been a week.
Yes. I'll say tomorrow night's my first night off in like 2 weeks. And I've told people just kind of like leave me alone. I'm just going to try to recharge a little bit.
Oh, now I'm going to bug you a lot tomorrow.
I will block you. So, but anyway, why don't you go ahead and close it out for us, Adam, since that's what you're good at. I need to appreciate that.
It sounded, I was going to say, the way you said it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of rude. See, I'm just so...
Do you remember how to use this thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's something else. That's something else I'll address really fast, too, before you get in there, is the live streams. Normally, we do them every other week or something like that. In 2025, there will not be a set schedule. We'll try to do one at least once a month, but I'm not going to guarantee anything on live streams like we've tried to do. We're not going to force live streams. I want to do them. I enjoy doing them. It makes for good social media content, but also it puts us out there, and it gives us a great way to interact with the viewers and stuff on those lines. That being said, I don't want to force it, and I don't want to make it all about us having to be on here on a regular basis. So just if you haven't seen us for a while, that could very well be why. But stay tuned because we will be back.
And we'll give you a heads up when we're doing it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll be more of a heads up than we've been giving, because we'll be scheduled. We'll be planned out a little bit better in the future. So probably about a week's notice and stuff like that. And I'll try to make more advertising on it, make it a bigger deal too. Try to get more people in here. But yes, continue with what you're working on there, Adam.
Before I close it out,
yeah.
What I mean, personal or professional, what has been your biggest positive of 2024 for you guys? Or maybe one of each, personal and professional.
I survived.
Survived what?
2024.
Oh.
That's my personal.
Kind of gloomy, but okay.
I mean, you're asking. I don't know. Like I say, it's been a weird year. Babe, you're smiling up there. You obviously got something to say.
For me, at least professionally, we were talking about it before.
Yeah.
Livestream. I'm in a job that it's been a long time since I said I really liked a job, and I'm actually really liking this job. So and it's promising right now. Even though things are going so well, I keep waiting for them not to be well, but it's actually doing good, and I'm pretty happy about it. It's a good change for this year for me.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's good. That's important. That you like your job, because it's easy to get a paycheck, but if you don't enjoy it, like where you're being at, it's pay sometimes isn't worth it. What about you, Adam?
I'm with you on the fact that 2024 was a really rough year, but I don't know. I've made a lot of personal changes to start making things a little bit better. So
getting rid of those dogs would be a good one.
Dude, I was muted half the time down here because of them. Yeah, but my kids are doing really cool stuff, and they keep me happy and all that. And
you get the house you're working on. That's a big deal too.
Yeah, we're working on a giant renovation project that maybe in a year and a half it might be done, whatever. So that'll be a pretty cool deal. But just working on some small things to make things a little bit better.
Good.
The closed caption just made things better for me because it called you Eddie instead of Adam. So yeah.
Nice.
Eddie better.
Hey, you call me whatever you want, just don't call me late for dinner, right, guys?
That's right.
Right?
Whatever. Close this out. Yes, please.
AtlantaCcolony.com. Get there quick and see what revision Brendan's on now before he changes it again. But
it's 9.0.
Yeah. If the Atlanta Sea Colony website was a game, man, we'd have so much new content like all the time.
When you go back to the Wayback Machine, you click, it's like 50,000 little dots you can click on from all the changes over time.
ASC DLC.
Yeah.
I wish we could find the ASC GeoCities page from way back in the day. That'd be great.
So hard for that sucker.
It's a crime that GeoCities was not archived.
Yeah, it was GeoCities Area 51, I think 4434 something. Because it's an Area 51 sub account. I remember that. Yeah.
So anyways, over at the ASC website, AtlantaCcolony.com, you can get info on basically all of our stuff over there. Our contact links, our social media links. It's the Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Link. Did I already say LinkedIn? LinkedIn. All of our socials are over there, and I think even on the bios page, some of our personal socials actually are on there as well. And then also on that, you can get the link to our Discord server, which is free to join. All sorts of fun discussions going on in there. We need more fresh blood in there to keep the conversations going. We have a lot of good conversations, but it's always nice to get some extra things going on. We got like different categories of what we talk about. We talk about scuba news. We talk about we do talk about space news in there for when we were talking about earlier, seasteading and location ideas and blah blah. We just have a category for everything in the ASC Discord. So that's free to join. You can find the link for that on the ASC website, AtlantaCcolony.com website. I don't want people thinking they can go to ASC.com and get it, but AtlantaCcolony.com. And these live streams also are in the form of a podcast, and Brendan sets those up and actually does what's the word I'm looking for? Other posts on the podcasts or whatever. Sorry, Colonize the Ocean podcast. So and that's, as far as I know, it's on all the platforms out there. So go ahead and subscribe to that.
You can also go to the website, and the most current one's always on the website too. But
okay,
there's always a short that comes out on Monday, and then an AI generated one on Fridays right now. Plus, then whenever we do one of these, it gets thrown out there too. So either usually on a Tuesday. So you're always getting at least 2 pieces of content per week on the podcast. So yeah.
Sweet.
favorite.
Also, patreon.com/Atlanta Sea Colony. You can join that. Every little bit helps. We have our current patrons. We have Brian Acosta and Martin Reese, S. Babe Hyde, Adam Jewell, and Daddy Ron Traxler. I'm going to say that every time I get a chance. So those are our patrons. Thank you guys for doing that. And we have different tiers for that as well, as low as $5, right?
Yep.
$5 is the entry level one.
$5 foot long.
$5 foot long. And actually, our content's much more worth it because you can't get a $5 foot long anymore.
I'll buy
and they
one.
were never actually a foot long.
Well, there's that too.
They're not actually a foot long.
No, I know.
Whereas with us, you are getting a foot long. You are getting the real deal with us. I probably could have phrased that a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, sorry. That's not what I meant. Anyways, we're the real deal. That is what I should have just said. Anyways, so thank you guys for tuning in to the Atlanta Sea Colony year-end extravaganza. From us to you, we want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas.
I have
Happy
one more
New
thing.
Year. Oh, never mind. I guess I'm gonna have to go through all this again because Brendan's got to add.
Well,
something.
I got to think of one thing that we haven't even talked about in here, and that is if you have an Oculus VR headset. Adam and I both have one, and I'd love to start doing some virtual meetups and stuff like that on there as well. So if you've got one, I'm going to think we need to make a Discord section probably for VR and stuff along those lines, and we can start doing meetings and stuff like that. And I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, we haven't messed around too much with that. We need to figure that out. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let me restart that. Atlanta Sea Colony.
No, stop.
So, once again, from us to you, Merry Christmas, Happy New
Merry
Year's.
Christmas.
We hope your holidays are safe and fun, and I hope you don't have to work too hard. And I hope, I hope 2025 is just. I hope it's everybody's best year. I hope it's their best year until 2026. That's what I'm hoping. So.
Sounds good.
Anyways, guys, once again, thank you much for joining us, and we will see you next year.